Gretchen Rossi has quite a lot of nerve getting offended by them asking questions about her and Slade.
I feel like this is like weird questioning.
You came all the way back on Housewives. The last time we saw you, you were proposing to Slade, and all these years later, you're still not married. So you'd have to expect that some of these questions were going to come up, and it sounds like Slade doesn't contribute financially, which is why they're so stuck on Tamra. All these years, they've been in denial of their own reality and blaming Tamra for creating that narrative, even though we saw it with our own eyes. And then in the after show, Jen is kind of playing dumb, even though we know she knows more than she's letting on. But she's like, oh yeah, I think I read something about how you guys couldn't get married because of finances. And then Gretchen's like, that's not true. You said that.
Because Slade is trying to get caught up on some of the back debt and trying to get the things resolved within in
Well, you also don't want to take that on in a marriage.
I don't want to take it on.
What did Gretchen really think she was going to do with this comeback? Just take down Tamra? And also, this is the weakest accusation. This alleged recording of Tamra having sex with some famous musician who's in a band. Let's pretend that that's possible. That would mean that it was Tamra and this man, and then a producer just there watching. And then when they were done having sex, that producer or a sound guy was saving this and sending it to Slade. And then on Watch What Happens Live, Slade said something like, oh, it's out there. It's been out there forever. It's on SoundCloud. What's on SoundCloud? A song of Tamra's or this alleged track of her having sex with someone? Come on. And then also in the after show, Gina's like, well, I talked to Gretchen about it. And she said that, when Slade lost everything back when the real estate market crashed in 2008. So you're coming back to Housewives with kind of nothing's changed. I mean, they have a kid. But, all right, today we're going to be talking about that last episode of Real Housewives of Orange County, and I'm disappointed in them. They relied way too much on Gretchen. I see why she did not get an orange, because she's not going to answer questions about Slade, even though Slade's in a freaking confessional. Anyway, all right, before I get into it, make sure you are subscribed and following the show, and if you're watching on YouTube, like and comment on this video. All right, let's do it. So Tamra has just weaponized Gina's concern about Shannon in order to win the argument against Shannon in a very immature way. But Shannon's eyes have switched over to victim mode because now she sees what Gina's saying. And Gina says, I just don't want you to go. Let me do it like Gina. I just don't want you to go back. But Shannon's eyes are, I'm never going to go back, Gina. I'm never going to go back, Gina. I'm never going to go back. But Gina, I'm glad Gina's not going to let Tamra get away with this one because she reminds her and everyone that the reason she brought it up was because she thought that Tamra was being gross and hypocritical. You're going to come for this woman, all last year for drinking, and then you're going to be sneaking off and taking drinks with her. But Tamra doesn't want Gina to bring that part up. So she's like, and I explained it to you already, and you understood where I was coming from. Okay, sorry. Well, you're just throwing Gina under the bus here, so. But then Tamra's confessional, it's more of this shit that it's killing me. She goes, no matter what I do, people will find fault. Okay. I'm damned if I do. I'm damned if I don't. No, stop it. And Shannon is now in full victim. I'm making decisions based on what's best for me. Last year was traumatic because I was in a hole I didn't think I could crawl out of. So I'm processing through that still. Honestly, you have said that exact line multiple times before. Multiple times before. You are always recovering from a traumatic thing. Always. Tamra thinks this was a good convo, though. This conversation, she says, I'm glad that we had it. And she's like, now that we've had this conversation, I'm determined to give us a fun, Tres Amigas type footage of this Temecula trip. So we're going to get back to the house and I'm going to make us have fun, damn it. But let's go back to Beverly Hills. Heather tells Emily and Gretchen about the talk that she tried to have with Tamra, about Tamra reminding her of her father. It just feels like such a shame that Tamra, who's in therapy working on her own stuff and her own root of her problems, would be so dismissive of Heather saying this.
She wanted to make a point to talk to me.
Heather?
Heather did, because of the fact she got called out with the lie detector test with, "Are you afraid of Tamra?" after she's told everybody she's not afraid of me.
Okay, let me just stop right now. If I found out that there was this debate over whether or not someone was afraid of me, I would be like, oh my God, what am I doing? Because I don't want people to be afraid of me like that. Unless I want them to, you know what I mean? Unless I want them to be afraid of me. Like, unless that's what I'm going for. But if I'm hearing that there's this big discrepancy and Heather clearly seems scared of her when she's like, let me talk to you about those. The reason why I said that, let me just explain why. You don't realize that you're you're not giving a shit about anyone else's feelings but your own. Like, you don't see that? And then she's like, so she's making this case now, something about her father. And I'm like, geez, I've known you for 13, 14 years, and I've never heard you explain this about your dad. What are you trying to say? Are you trying to say that because she's not opened up about this or because she's not made that connection, it's totally invalid or something? And then she goes, and I'm like, wait, are you comparing me to your dad that you said you never got along with? And Gina, I feel like Gina tries here, but they pussy out pretty bad, both Gina and Emily. Because Gina goes, so you don't think that's why Heather is afraid of you? Leaning like, so she's just told you, like, you remind her. But this is what Tamra says to that. I don't know. Who knows? Heather knows. She fucking said it. You didn't accept it. Heather knows. Heather just said it. And she wants Heather. So I think when I'm the person, that's what she always says. I think when I'm the person that will bring out the truth and say whatever, I think it's scary to certain people. And then she like ropes these two in. She's like, I don't think it's scary to you. I don't think it's scary to you. But Heather's very sensitive. No, Tamra, what Heather was trying to do was relate it to maybe why she would ever answer that she was afraid. Basically, Heather was trying in a very roundabout way to explain why I am afraid of you. This is why I'm afraid of you. Yes. But Tamra doesn't want to hear that. Who knows? Who knows? Well, just explain to you. So it's very frustrating because you're in therapy trying to get all sorts of compassion for your journey. Anyway, the Beverly Hills trio goes to the Abbey. Gretchen is getting wasted. And oh God, don't I know. When you get a night at the Abbey, if you haven't, and by the way, hold on to your drinks. Even the bartenders are known to roofie. Just a pro tip if you're going to the Abbey. But you can get really wasted at the Abbey. They make strong drinks. I have not been to the Abbey to party, though, in like almost 10 years, probably. So what do I know? But that place is like a whole thing. The owner had to like not get rid of it, but like sell it or something because there were a lot of allegations about him and like sexual assault. The Abbey's kind of crazy. But anyway, on the way back to Heather's place, I can't remember someone says, we should have done karaoke tonight. And Gretchen's like, yeah, let's go karaokeing. Let's find a place that will play my song. And I forgot that Gretchen had 3 songs. But Emily goes, oh, that's what's on I have a little hair on my microphone that keeps hitting my lip. Sorry. Emily goes, does Tamra know that? Because I would think if she knew that, she'd be bringing it up all the time. And then Gretchen says, well, Tamra tried to be a singer. And fair enough. Emily's like, when did she go to the studio? And Gretchen says, when she was fucking, and they blank the name. And Heather, but I was like, ooh, Heather's going to get in trouble for this one. Heather goes, was she married? And then I think Gretchen like kind of makes a face. And Heather just goes, oh, that would be bad. Kind of like gossipy. I was like, because Tamra goes through these episodes and like sends notes, sends text messages like, I saw that face you made, which is what makes her scary. Just letting us know. But anyway, Gretchen, how do these people who've been in touch with Tamra this whole time, Heather namely, how do they not know that Tamra ever made a song and wanted to be a singer? How do they not know that? Gretchen on the after show, I'm sorry, not on the after show, on Watch What Happens Live, said that Tamra's always coming for people, like housewives shouldn't sing songs or whatever. I'm like, is she? I didn't know, but it's like, but I know that she did try to sing a song, so fuck her. Yeah, but it's not like she's continued to try to be a singer. It's like she would have talked about that. If she was still trying and also saying housewives shouldn't sing songs, then yes. But like, did this happen 15 years ago again? Gretchen? Did it happen that long ago again? But okay, Heather's butler is literally waiting for them with munchies and like beverages. This is like the most ideal slumber party. It's just a little too controlled. It's like, I know what Heather was trying to do. She was trying to have like a fun, like girls' night kind of thing. But like that sort of night where you just end up wasted and hung over the next day. It's different when you have it. It's so carefully planned. There's like, do we want munchies? Do we have pizza? Would I appreciate this? Yes. It's just like Heather has to have fun in a very controlled way, But okay, Emily rightfully asks Gretchen about this Tamra song. And Gretchen claims someone sent it to Slade. So they're like, call Slade. And now I'm confused because they call Slade and then Gretchen seems surprised that Slade is saying what he's saying. Because so allegedly Tamra gets to the studio and this guy, they start fucking and they forgot to stop the recording and someone sent that recording to Slade. And I'm like, how? And why does Gretchen not know? Why does Gretchen seem like she's like, what? When did that, like, why? I don't think I'm following this at all. I think it's a real cockamamie story if I ever heard one. And Slade is way too excited to talk about Tamra. Like the way he does that is just really creepy. He can't wait to bust it out. And it just doesn't even make sense to me. Doesn't even make sense. And then Gretchen is like, I don't remember that. I was talking about the song. And then, like I said, on Watch What Happens Live, Slade said that the song's been out there forever. Well, why didn't Gretchen pull up the song then? Why didn't they pull it up then? I don't know. What are you guys talking about? Anyway, the Beverly Hills trio goes to bed. They sleep in those like canopy beds. Again, cannot handle that. Cannot handle sleeping in the same room as someone. I need my privacy, I need my own space. This would have been my nightmare. Especially without a TV on. You're going to do this in the living room. There's nothing to look at? Are you insane? If you tuned into the Orange County recap last week, you know that I am a fan of gummies. And I had a couple real ones reach out and say, hey, which gummy was that? Because it sounded fun. Well, as I have said before, cornbread hemp gummies are my favorites. Now, if you are not looking to, let's say, have your mind altered at all, and you just want relief from aches and discomfort, stress, sleeplessness, you need the CBD gummies, cornbread hemp CBD gummies. They work with your body. They make you feel better. I've tried so many freaking CBD gummies out there, but these actually give me some relief. Now, if you're looking for a little mind alteration, the THC gummies are a party. And all cornbread products are USDA organic. Right now, She's Speaking listeners can save 30% on their first order. Just head to cornbreadhemp.com/shespeaks and use code SHESPEAKS at checkout. That's cornbreadhemp.com/shespeaks and use code SHESPEAKS. The Temecula crew now, they're wearing the oversized bikini tees that Tamra got with the swim caps. And it seems like Tamra is trying to force Shannon to have fun and like give that old content that she's used to. Because Tamra's also been on this whole kick about bringing Vicky back and how like, yeah, her and Vicky have had problems, but like they go back so far and they're friends and blah, blah, blah. It's because I think Tamra's trying to think like, oh, I'm like just trying to have fun with Shannon like we used to. And she doesn't want to do that, but Vicky will do that. Like that's the vibe. But it's still just kind of very dismissive. And again, Tamra doesn't like Shannon, period. Keep going back. Tamra does not like Shannon. She's very irritated by everything that Shannon stands for. But like she just wants Shannon to like her or something. It's weird. Gina is smoking a Dubrow joint, and she totally buzz kills this moment because they're in the hot tub, and Gina's like, Shannon, I'm worried about you. I do worry. Matt had his heart thing. And so I worry about you home alone with the dogs. I'm like, what are you doing right now? we got past this. We'll talk about it tomorrow. It's like a bad stoner move. Okay. Buzz kill. Like, don't get me wrong. Do I know what it's like to get in those modes when you're stoned? Like, I will spiral over the stupidest shit sometimes because, like, my cat, I'll think of my cat's dying. Like, why? But, just know where you are. No, you don't need, while Shannon is like in the hot tub with her swim cap on, you're not like, but I do worry about you, But then Tamra loves any opportunity to like tell Shannon that they're concerned. She's like, this is what I've been saying. I know, I'm worried about the drinking too, the toll it takes on your body. Okay. Yes, sure. But it's just like, I don't believe that that's the concern. I really don't. But then the next morning, Shannon's cooking and Tamara's just like overdoing it again. And so what we're going to get is Tamra like trying so hard to get Shannon's attention. And then when we actually, let me wait to get to that. We're going to put a pin in that. Put a pin in that. Tamra's overdoing it while Shannon's trying to cook breakfast and it's making me nervous. But Heather has a private chef for their morning. I don't know if this man knew this chef had an idea of what he was getting into because he seemed like he wanted to kill these women. When they started ordering like over hard eggs, he's like, I'm sorry, what? And then poached eggs, he's like, I thought we were just doing one breakfast for all of you. All right, what the fuck is this? I don't want to. Terry joins them though, and he says that he slept so good without Heather. And once, I think he said a sleep divorce, which I fully get. Where they sleep in separate rooms. And Gretchen jumps on that. She's like, oh, we have that. I make him sleep on the couch because he snores. And I don't know why, but it does make sense why Emily says, do you guys ever think of getting married in this moment? I don't know why that makes sense. It was like an odd thing for Gretchen. It's like, you're making him sleep on a couch. He doesn't even have another room to go to? Like he's got to sleep on the couch? Okay. So what about getting married? Gretchen thinks about this long and hard. She's like, okay, wait, I wasn't planning on being asked questions about this. I swear they thought they told production, like, we will not be answering any questions about our personal life. What? I swear to God. Because, she looks so defensive of it. And then she goes, I think I've never had an issue with wanting to get married, so I think I would love to. Now, what's interesting is Heather, unbeknownst to me until this moment, I don't know if you guys remember, back in the day when, I think it was Gretchen's last season, the season when she proposed to Slade, at that reunion, Gretchen has a whole breakdown cry moment because she can't believe that they thought her engagement, her proposal was fake, and I can't believe you would think I would do that.
We've been through so much, and you guys have said so much stuff about us. And the one thing I could have never imagined you guys would say is that was made up.
I think Heather has held on to that because now she's like, wait a minute. You got engaged and then you got mad at us for saying it was fake and you're still not married. And I swear she's like, this is my opportunity here. So she goes, Heather, I remember years ago when we first talked about it, you were worried about financially getting married, but now you feel like that's all handled. So, and Gretchen says, well, it's not even that it's all handled. I just feel like, I've been with him for 16 years and I know who he is. And I feel much more confident. And Emily says, so do you have everything financially separate now? Or are your bank accounts together? And Gretchen, no, we've never done that. They have a kid, by the way. We've never done that. I've always liked to have my own money. My home is in my name. I've always been very strict about that. And Emily says, so you make the mortgage payment or does he pay like rent? And Gretchen, all disgusted, no, he doesn't pay rent. And thank you, Emily. She goes, well, I'm sorry, he has to contribute. Like he lives there too, right? And then Heather, I thought Heather was going to drop it because Heather's polite, right? But Heather does not drop it. She goes, how do you decide who pays for stuff? Do you buy groceries? Do you split the groceries? Is there just one charge? Gretchen says, I don't know. She's so freaked out. I don't know. It comes out of my account. And Emily says, does he pay for anything? And then Gretchen says, I feel like this is like weird questioning. I mean, was it probing? Yeah. But literally, this is housewives. This is what they do. Okay? Normal questioning is happening here for a housewife. And you have the last time, I know I already said this, but the last time we saw you, you were proposing to him and crying because people didn't believe the proposal. Yet here you are, still not married. And clearly, Slade has not had a job. Literally, what is his job? Right? So then they move on to chair massages. Again, so controlled. And Gretchen suddenly, I feel like she like suddenly remembers what she said about Tamra and like how they called Slade. And she's like backtracking, like blaming them. You guys made me say it. You guys made me. I did not. Don't be mean and go tell Tamra. But I did appreciate Emily being like, so you're bringing up something that's a rumor. And how is that any different than what Tamra does that you hate and that you had to, like, you're both the same. And she's like, no, we're not. We're very different. No, yours is even worse because you've been gone this whole time. And this is what you've been plotting and planning this whole time. Girl, no. But back to the Temecula crew. They're now sitting outside by the pool, chatting about what they're going to be up to when they get back to OC. And Shannon is like, I'll probably walk Archie. And then she tells him that she talks to Archie because there's no one else there. And the way Jen goes, see, that makes me sad, Shannon. It's like, she's like, you're just all alone with your dog. So sad and pathetic, right? By yourself with your dog. I'm sorry, her life looks great to me. Okay? I don't need to be talking to a lot of people. It's just, it gets a little exhausting from even Gina, too. They're always like trying to hook Shannon up with someone. And I'm like, can we stop? Can we fucking stop? Like, it's kind of pathetic, guys. But it's also like insulting. I just feel so bad for you, Shannon, just all by yourself with Archie and that's it. Wasn't there another dog? Tamra asks if Shannon still goes to therapy. And Shannon says multiple times a week. I'm like, my God, why? Multiple? How many sessions do you have? But then Jen goes, okay, so like yesterday, what takes you from like, I'm upset and pissed to derailment? And what's funny is I'm so used to Shannon's outbursts that I don't even look at it as, I'm just like, that's what Shannon does. But that's probably crazier to experience. And then I think back to what she said to Katie when they were in New Orleans and she was like, I can't stand you. And like that whole thing. So like, yeah, she can go there. She can be a little much. But Shannon goes, I mean, yeah, in therapy, we talk about catastrophizing. And if there was ever a term that summed up Shannon Bedore, it is catastrophizing. Everything is a catastrophe. Everything for Shannon. So yep, you better talk about that. Then Shannon starts crying because she's telling them how she grew up in a house with a little bit of chaos. And she gives this really fucked up example of when her mom was supposed to be divorcing her dad, but the process server didn't get to him in time. So they had to have this whole party or barbecue or whatever with the dad, but pretending like they didn't know they were going to get divorced. That is nuts. Because they were like, just, it'll happen later. So everyone pretended? Like that is crazy. But Tamra goes, And didn't you say he had a drinking problem? Now, I know this is wildly debated online right now. And it's like, oh, she was just trying to connect. I personally do not understand how this would have helped Shannon at all. Because if I've had personal conversations with somebody, but that is one of the that's one of the points that we discussed was a potential drinking problem by their father. Until they say that in this conversation, I'm not going to volunteer that. And by saying that, where do you expect the conversation to go from there? Didn't your dad also have a drinking problem? Yes. Now what? And therefore I have one too. It did feel, but even if like Tamra doesn't realize she did it, it's a boundary. She doesn't understand boundaries. She doesn't understand where that line is. And it's one thing to be like, I know about your family, but like take the cue from Shannon at this point. If she's talking about family stuff, let Shannon divulge whatever information that she wants to. Because now it's on camera and now she's got to talk to her dad about it. We've already filmed scenes with her dad this season and multiple seasons prior. So I did not think it was a nice or helpful thing. Because then Shannon gets upset and Tamra goes, just trying to help you, Shannon. How? Why is bringing that up? What was the assistance you were looking for? So Tamra then asked Shannon if she talks about this stuff in therapy because, if this stuff is buried, it comes out. And I'm with Shannon just being like, thanks, shut up. You just started therapy. What are you doing giving advice? Telling me if this stuff is buried, it all comes out. What you need some humility. You need a slice of humble pie. You are not some expert now. You have no business telling Shannon how to live her life at all. It's just I can't see, and I don't even I don't like Shannon that much. I think Shannon's so annoying. I think that was fucked up of Tamra. I'd be like, that wasn't yours to tell. That wasn't yours to explain. I can say that, but not you. And then being like, I'm just trying to help you, Shannon. God. How? How does that help me? You are not equipped to take your therapy sessions out and like practice on others at this point. What you should have been learning in therapy so far is that you don't know shit and you are a work in progress and you have got a lot to work on still. That's what you should be focusing on in your therapy. So, as they say in the program, stop taking other people's inventory, Tamra. Right? But then of course Tamra like walks. She's like, anytime I say anything, you jump down my throat. I'm not your enemy, girl. And then she goes inside under her breath. She goes, have another glass of champagne, Shannon. Really? Okay. You don't even see, like, you've been drinking with Shannon. You've been trying to get Shannon drunk and having fun for the camera so that your Temecula trip looks good. And now it's, have another glass of champagne. All right, whatever. Jen goes in to talk to Tamra, and Tamra's like, is it me? Or anytime I say anything to her, it's like, I know, I got through it. Like, God. But Jen's like, okay, yeah, well, but was that a dig? She's like, no. She's just worried that it's going to make her look like she has a drinking problem. I don't even think she cares about her dad. Whoa. Why would she not? But then also the after show, Tamra just like sticks with it. She's like, yeah, the drinking was one of the big problems. And it caused a lot of, from what she told me, it caused a lot of problems. And then she says, I never met the man. They weren't close. And Emily and Gina are like, Rick, we've met him a few times. Oh, well, that's good because in the past, their relationship was not good. But like, we've seen her dad multiple times before. Like she seems to love her dad. And I'm just confused why Tamra, I don't, like just Tamra sometimes acts like she knows so much about Shannon, but I'm like, who are you even talking about? You don't like Shannon, period. Period. You don't like Shannon. Everything that Shannon does irritates Tamra, but then Tamra then still wants something from Shannon. I don't know what, but she wants something from. So now they're going to be back to their fighting, which is, whatever. Tamra's like, defensive of it, even on her Instagram. She's like, I'm really just trying to connect with her or whatever. I'm like, the way that she won't listen to Heather saying that she's afraid of her and this is why, and just dismissing everything, and is like kind of bullying the people that she's in the room with, like, you're not afraid of me, are you? You're not afraid of me. I'm like, when will this therapist kind of get Tamra to realize, like, you're more defensive now than ever, but now you're like equipped with some therapy jargon and think that you know more or something. But like, I would know that Tamra thinks that she's evolving when she starts to say, like, I don't know anything. I genuinely don't. I hope everyone just does their best because I'm trying to do mine. But instead, she still acts like an expert on things, and it's like mad that people aren't behaving in certain ways, and it's just annoying. But no, I do not want Tamra off the show. Before I I get people asking me that all the time. Do you want Tamra fired? No, I don't. I don't really know what the future of this cast is, to be honest, because Jen is kind of a dud, in my opinion. But speaking of duds, Watch What Happens Live. Gretchen is on, and the truth bomb. I don't know if you've seen Watch What Happens Live, but there's this new segment where it's this truth bomb, and Andy does this very over-the-top acting, like the bomb explodes and this whole thing. But he asks shady-ass questions, dude. This truth bomb is no joke. Once and for all, Gretchen, the night of Naked Wasted, did you go to the hospital, or did you just think you should have gone to the hospital? And why did you say you did? Gretchen has clearly practiced this response, all right? She goes, so having to relive that whole traumatic situation of a woman trying to get another woman completely naked, wasted, and to do something stupid and set you up, she's like, needed to put that out there. Like, that's what we should all be mad at still. That's what we're all mad about, by the way, was what Tamra did. I think that I was just like, it was a lot. And I was just trying to process it all. And I obviously misspoke in the moment. I never went to the hospital. And that is why I said that in my interview. And that is why I passed the lie detector test. Oh, that lie detector test. She's so proud of that. I'm telling you, she knew how to do that lie detector test. Or she slipped them some money or something. And then Andy goes, okay, but why did you say in the car that you did go to the hospital? And she looks at him and says, that's what I just explained. You did? I think it was just a lot of stuff coming at me at once. And I think and then she says, but what's frustrating to me is that even in that moment, even when I said that, Tamra still showed no remorse. Isn't that interesting? Oh, so you did mean it. I thought you misspoke. I thought you didn't realize you even said it. Why would you expect Tamra to react to it if it wasn't even meant to be said? So you did say it. You did say it to get... Okay. Whatever, Gretchen. Okay, anyways. All right, well, I'm going to go now. Get this edited, get this out, and wrap up per usual this week with Kendrick. Live Sunday, 10 a.m. PT. If you can't make it, replay will be available. And I love you, and I mean it, and goodbye. Thanks for tuning in to She's Speaking with Emily Hanks. This show is produced, hosted, and edited by me, Emily, and brought to you in partnership with Cloud 10 Media. If you are looking for bonus content, check out the Patreon. The link is in the description. To show some support, you can hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode. Another free way to support the pod, please rate and/or review on whatever platform you listen. It's free, and it helps the algorithm or something. You could also head to buymeacoffee.com/shespeaks and buy me a coffee or two. Make sure you're following me on all social medias. I am She's Speaking with Emily Hanks across all platforms: Threads, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. That's it. Thank you guys. See you soon.